Okay, I just went on a dig for 11 hours. I can't believe I dug that long, especially after I had a stroke. But it has been about 2.5 months. But I did find this one marble that's really a nice one. And I found one of these miniature Vicks. These are thought to be older bottles, but that was just somebody's opinion, because this was a 1935 to 1945 dump. It's very small. Now this is one of the biggest hauls I've ever found. This is just one box of bottles. I have another one just as big. Yeah, I got all these other ones too. Why are you showing them like this? Why don't you show them coming out of the dirt? My camera broke and I hated having to dig without being able to film. I also hated wasting a cool day. And I was over there anyway because I had business to attend to. But I'm going to show you these bottles one at a time. I know it'll be a different kind of a video than watching me digging them out of the dirt, but at least you'll be able to see what I found. For starters, we got a Westview, but I think it developed a small bruise because I had it in here. I had it out of the water for a whole week. So it got a couple of small bruises on it. But this is a rare dairy. I don't think I've ever found one. Possibly one. And here is another store 3-cent bottle. Kinston NC. It's a quart, and it's the only time I've ever found a quart size one of these. This is a pretty rare milk bottle. And we got a Wade's Dairy, another fairly rare one that I've only found one of before. So that's a nice one. And I have a Christmas Coke with only a tiny lip chip. And it is from Kinston. So it's a pretty rare bottle. I don't really find very many Christmas Cokes over there. I've only found a couple of them. And here's a strange one. I found one of these 22 years ago in Williamston. Even though this is a Kinston bottle, it's a 12-ounce embossed one. It says Better Beverages. And it's kind of an unusual one. It's definitely rare because I've only found, this is only the second one I've found in 23 years of digging around here. And another 3-cent store bottle from Kinston in the half pint. And another good one, Kinston Dairy, McDaniel. Yeah, that's definitely only the second one of these I've ever found. So that's a good one. And here I have a D patent, which is kind of a late one, thrown away in 1938 probably, or 39. And it is from Kinston as well. Okay, we got another Wade's Dairy in half pint, a fairly scarce one. And another 3-cent store bottle. And we got a High Roller. It's a small, short one. And it is embossed with Kinston NC on it. So that's another great bottle. And we got an Edgewood. Not so good because it doesn't actually say where it's from. But it's obviously from Kinston. And here's another Christmas Coke. It's in perfect condition except for the caseware. And it is from Wilson. Then we got a Maypop. One of those odd ones with the tree on it. So that's always a fun one to find. And another Wade's Dairy half pint. I sure found a lot of milks. I must have found 13 or 14 of them, including the 6 of them that were plain. And another D patent that's in absolutely mint condition. Well, pretty close to mint condition. And it is from Kinston as well. And yet one more of these 3-cent milks. You know, I think I'll make another video. I think I'll show you these all cleaned up. Yeah, they'll look a lot better all cleaned up. Alright, doesn't that look better? Some nice milks. Well, that's enough of that. I'll show you the rest dirty because they're more common bottles. By the way, these are 3 cameras that I used up in 1 year alone. Why? Well, this is what I've been using for videoing for the past year, but I have an extending lens that is very susceptible to getting dirt in them, and it's a very dirty job filming these bottles being dug up, and consequently I get dirt in the lens, and it ruins it after a while. I got a 4th one of these cameras now that I'm using for this video. They're pretty cheap cameras though. You can get them for an average of $32 used on eBay because they're about 12-year-old technology, but they are pretty good. Okay, the rest of the stuff. Here we have a metal flask that somehow lost its top. And we have an old Mr. Boston. Seems to be the most prevalent kind. Then we got a weird looking beer. And then we have H.H. McCoy of Kinston. It's got a crack in it, but it's a fairly scarce bottle anyway. And we have one of these embossed Milk of Magnesias. And a similar one is a little bit different shape, and it's a little bit thicker and not embossed. And then we have a White House vinegar flask. And one of these. It's a White House product as well. And a cork top Clorox bottle. And a cork top Lysol bottle. And we have one of these megaphone shaped Log Cabin syrups. And I just brought this broken shard home because it's made of clear glass. A clear Coke. It's definitely kind of unique. And another one of these. And a cork top Listerine. And I believe this is another type of White House bottle. And we have a Vaseline glass, drinking glass. And one of the many plain milk bottles that was probably in ACL. And here's another one. And here's an Ed Pinard. think it's a cologne bottle. And a cork top wine bottle. And this one just has an interesting design on it. It's probably a wine flask or a whiskey flask. And this one has the top freshly broken off, which is a shame because it's a Christmas Coke. And it's from Kinston as well. And here's another Christmas Coke, but this one is from Tarboro, which is fairly rare. It has the top broken off, but I figured it's pretty scarce, so I'll keep it anyway. And what they call a half doll, or a pincushion doll. It has a chip out of it, but it's pretty good anyway. And a doorknob. And a weird shaped bottle. And here's one that takes a mason jar lid. One of the many different styles. I haven't ever found this style before. And here's a couple shards of uranium glass, because some people actually will buy broken pieces. And here's a throwback. This is definitely 1890s. I just saved it because the handle could be replaced. Could be used for replacing on one of these that needs it. Okay, and we have an ACL, a Tom Collins Jr. It's the first one of these I found over there, so I tried to preserve it with my clear shellac, but it didn't come out quite good enough, but still, I might save it. And we have one of these grape flasks. And another blank milk. And we have a Grove's Tasteless Chill Tonic, one of the later variants with only embossing on the shoulder. But it's much more rare than the kind that's embossed all over the front. And then we got one of these extract type flasks. And the Gordon's London Dry Gin. And a quart milk. Also, it must have been an ACL. And then we got citrate of magnesia. Kind of interesting. It's got interesting design on the neck, and it's fully embossed. And here's another one. It's not embossed, but it's green, so that makes it kind of special. And then we have a wine of Cardui. Kind of a nice shade of green. And a little green bottle. And we have the first one of these I found. It is a cork top and it's embossed. I have found a couple of amber ones before, but this is the first clear one. And then we have a soda, a 12-ouncer. It is of the Minji variety. There must be at least a dozen variants of the Minji bottle. And another quart milk. This one's got some pretty big bruises on it, but it's rather unique because it's probably from the late teens, which is a throwback, because it is embossed. And then another half bind that's blank, and another one, and another one, and another white doorknob. This one has the piece on the back. Then we got this thing. It's kind of shaped like a bucket. Kind of got straps around it and kind of designed to look like a wooden bucket. Okay. And then we have a semi-fancy whiskey. It is 4 Roses. Then we have this whiskey. It's kind of got a basket weave design to it. Kind of interesting, as well as it's a cork top. Then we have a quart size emerald green soda. And then we have this whiskey. It has an eagle design embossed on it. But it's a fairly rare one. Well, there's a few more odds and ends in there, but pretty big haul, isn't it? There must have been at least 75 bottles that I got out of there, and at least 100 that I left behind. So, what do you think about all those milks? Pretty impressive, huh? 15 milks actually altogether. Well, that's kind of gotta be a record. Well, unless you're digging a dairy dump. Hopefully this will be the only video I have to make like this, because I know you like looking at them coming out of the dirt and having them talked about while they're coming out and when they're freshly found. So, I'm sorry again about this. I'm sorry this is such a boring video, but at least you got to see this massive haul. And here's a few more. A Vicks Vapor Rub in a giant size. Only the second one I've ever found, and the other one I found was cracked up, so that's the only perfect one. And I found a cobalt blue poison. It's sort of a poison anyway. It doesn't actually say poison, but it's well known as one.